today. Today I'm with Bjorn from the mighty SOILWORK. My very first interview with you was 20 years ago already.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
Élysée Montmartre. You were playing in first part of In Flames and Pain, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Or was it Children of Bodom? No.
Maybe Children. I can remember, but
No.
and so at that time I think you were not so fully in a band SOILWORK. You were working with the kids. So my first question is, during the pandemic, did you come back to your roots with the kids or education or stuff like this?
Oh, okay. I see what you mean now. No, I did not. No, but I mean, that was definitely a very rewarding job in many ways, and there's definitely been times, when you come home from touring and suddenly there's nothing happening and where you sort of wish you had some kind of a day job, but it's kind of hard to find an employer that accepts you just, suddenly out of nowhere. It's like, oh, sorry, I got to go on tour. See ya, So, but, I've been staying quite busy anyway during COVID, doing a lot of session work and guest vocals and different collaborations. So, yeah.
So you recorded again this album at the Nordic Sound Lab with Thomas. And he said a funny thing with in an interview, in a Eyal Levy interview. He said that being in studio with SOILWORK is always uncomfortable because recording the SOILWORK album is always a challenge.
Yeah. it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that you being in studio with SOILWORK is uncomfortable.
I've never heard him say that, but that makes me I don't know. Wow, uncomfortable. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to take in, and this album, I think, especially, I've been really hard to make. It's been a beast, and I'm sure that Thomas wanted to rip out his hair that he doesn't. Well, he doesn't have any hair, so there's nothing to rip out. just like me. But yeah, I'm sure he was frustrated, a bunch of times. But he's a very good friend of the band as well, so we know each other very well, and I'm glad he's open, about it. And it was not an easy one, so I get it. But man, the result is fantastic. He's an absolute champ.
Yeah.
What a great producer, and what a great mix.
In fact, it seems that the album was written before entering the studio, but you worked a lot with him on the songs, on the production, and it's not just a recording man, just an engineer. He's a full producer and gives you power in studio. It gives you ideas and a lot of things.
Well, I mean, I would say that, I mean, the band is definitely the main producer, but he's definitely coming up with ideas as well, and he's quite a visionary man as well, and with a very good ear. So I think he's definitely contributing a lot, So I would say that he would be the co-producer, but the band is, I guess, is the main producer. But he's very involved emotionally. He's not the kind of guy who shows up in the morning and say, press rec, okay, go.
Yeah.
He's very involved, and I think that's also the reason why it was very tough for him to go through this recording, because he lives and breathes the whole thing as well with us.
Did you take more time to write this new album?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, we got some more time on our hands, obviously through COVID, but I took a long break before I started writing for this album. I came in quite late in the process with my songs or whatever, but David never stopped. He just kept on writing. After Vergivenheten, he kept on writing. We released the Wisp of the Atlantic EP, and he kept on writing. And I was like, okay, all right, I take a break, see ya. But somewhere down the line, I felt like, okay, now it's like I came to a point. It's like, wow, I don't feel any inspiration, and it's like maybe it's because I've gotten this break, and I've gotten to know that other Bjorn a bit more, and that I haven't seen for 20 years because I've been touring so much that I never stopped. So I think that was really important for me to getting to know that other person as well. And in the end, I kind of like force started my engines to start writing songs, and I just felt like, wow, do I have to force it now? This is pathetic. I shouldn't have to do that. But it's like okay, just be easy on yourself, But then once I opened that door, a lot of beautiful things came out, both lyrically and musically, and some really amazing melodies, some of the best stuff that I've ever written, I feel, at least, and that in a combination with David's material became something very special, and Sven also wrote a song for the album, so it's it's very diverse, but man, it's an inferno of emotions running through the album, that's for damn sure.
And so indeed, the world needed this break. I feel so, and so so you do. You did need this break, and all this. Do you feel that you are again in this infernal spiral again?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I feel a little bit revitalized, and I feel like I can appreciate things a lot more, and I can since I got to sort of connect with that other person, I think I can throw more of that person into my stage persona. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I can connect with the songs more live, where we play them live now, and also connect more with the crowd, and I feel more comfortable in my own skin, which is quite interesting. But so for me, it was a healthy break, and of course, it's terrible that it was as a pandemic, and it's still an ongoing thing, so and a lot of people suffered, so but as far as getting a break, the timing was quite good for me, personally.
So, yeah, so you said the album is really diversified, even maybe more diversified than your double album that I love so much, this double album, but I feel maybe this one is more diversified. Did Sylvain play banjo at the very beginning of the album, and there are also violin, keyboards, so many different things?
Well, on the actual intro with the banjo, it's a guy named Johan Randén who's playing it. He's a fantastic bluegrass guitarist. So he was in a studio in the same sort of building. That's where we recorded the album. So we asked him to do a guest feature, which turned out really cool. So no, it's not Sylvain. But maybe at some point it would be cool if you get to play it live. Imagine Sylvain with a banjo going up on stage and
I can see that.
playing it live. Yeah, I would love it. I would love that. That would be cool.
So it seems that you recorded something like 17 songs.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And
so the album is quite a long journey, because it's made of 14 songs. So
yeah, 65 minutes. I think that's the longest one after, I mean, excluding The Living Infinite, of course, which is a double album. But yeah,
especially today, because most of the releases are EPs. So it's a long journey, but I feel when you have diehard fans or old guys that are listening to full albums, it's really a great journey, for this album.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean we also roll with the times, of course, and we release singles here and there, and that's fine, but it's also very important for us to release albums, and I think we write music where it's quite crucial that it's an album, it's like songs that are connecting. There's interludes, and like you mentioned before, there's quite a few like acoustic instruments, there's violin and stuff like that too, which ties everything together quite nicely, so it makes sense to release albums.
So what about
for us.
the three songs that you have pulled out? Would you release them in the future?
No clue. We'll see. I mean, now we're just really focused on this album, and we all love how it fell into place, and we like the songs that we picked for the album, and then I can't even hear the other three songs in my head right now. But maybe I will revisit them, somewhere down the line.
So yeah, it seems that SOILWORK, you don't care about what you have to do. You have your own path, and it seems that it works. You never know what to expect with a SOILWORK album, and so like the artwork was full of colors with this bird. I can remember also at that time when you released the album with a white artwork, which was very unexpected at that time,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you like to break the rules of metal, because sometimes metal,
Yeah.
we have to say that metal is too rigid sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I think we've been stubborn from the start. I mean, we were definitely a part of the ongoing sort of Gothenburg scene and a little bit of the Stockholm scene. I mean, but then again, we were not from those cities. We were from down south, but obviously we were quite influenced from that scene, but also Carcass Heartwork. But then we discovered all Devin Townsend stuff. We discovered City with Strapping Young Lad, which was just like, wow, this is insane. We never heard anything like this before, and that was very inspiring to us to sort of go on our own little path, but it needed to come naturally, not just by force. Okay, we just want to sound different, and that's it. And because I'm not a fan of bands where it's so obvious that they're just doing it for show. It's like kind of like a show off kind of thing. But I think we found a path, and we managed to evolve, and a lot of things happened the first 5 years when we started the band, and from the get-go we wanted to find a path where we were sticking out and not just join the fold and try to just match everything else. And like you mentioned, we had a Natural Born Chaos that was definitely something that was sticking out, both cover artwork and also musically. I think it was ahead of its time, in many ways, and we've been continued on that path ever since, and especially with the Living Infinite, I also think we started a new era. That was an experiment, a crucial experiment for us to get to where we are today. And I think it's a new era, and of course we can look back at Natural Born Chaos and Stabbing the Drum as great albums, but we don't want to, that's not us anymore. We play some of those songs live, but we've moved on, and there's no way we could rehash those albums. It's I think we've been very brave, and we remain very relevant in the metal scene, and that's an accomplishment in itself. I think that's something to be proud of.
And when you listen to, I was listening again this afternoon, A Predator's Portrait, which is one of my favorite SOILWORK album. I feel it's still fresh. The sound is good. The melodies are really good. It's 20 years old.
Yeah, more than 20 years.
Yeah.
21, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listening back, I mean, I don't like vocals very much.
Yeah, because
but,
you are
it's
so
always
perfectionist.
like yeah, of course. But then again, I'm very proud of that album. It was my first stepping stone as a clean vocalist. So
what about this artwork by David? And it seems that there is a collaboration with the Georgia. So she's the first inspiration in black and white.
No, this is David's friend, who's also named David. Who it was David who came up with the actual sort of idea that's like, oh, let's have something hand drawn. It's like, okay. It's like, first I was a little bit skeptical. Say, hey, yeah, we'll try it out. And we gave the artist, I can't remember his name, his last name now. The artist David. Yeah,
David Palmquist.
Exactly, Palmquist. Yes. sort of freehand, but we gave him some keywords. I wanted to have these trees that you see on the cover. They're quite typical from the very south in Sweden, where I'm from, and they look quite desolate. And I pictured like an alley, with those. So he put those in there, and then I was quite surprised by the results. Like, wow, this is pretty cool, But and then I felt like it was just black and gray to begin with. It's like maybe we should have some colors in there, and that's where my girlfriend Georgia, or actually fiance, I should say.
Take care of the world.
Yeah, exactly. She got to experiment with the colors a little bit because she's a graphic designer, and I think she did really well. And what the end result is fantastic. I think it's great, and I think it really connects with the title as well.
Yeah. So what about the songs? Of course, as French, we can recognize. Is it the girl that is singing on the Nous sommes la guerre, but also on the last song? Is she the same that on the Evergrey?
No, I don't think so. No, this is a friend of David's, and he has this band called Sati on. It's like a YouTube project. I don't know if you've seen it, but I think it's the same. I might be wrong.
Because Evergrey released an album so many years, and they made also a French intro, and it seems that it's like quite the same voice, but I'm not sure.
Huh, interesting. Might be. I don't know.
Yeah, might be. What about these French words? Did Sylvain force you to? Hey, I want French.
Yeah, exactly. No, actually not. This is again David's idea, because he has like faiblesse for the French language, and he's quite good. I wouldn't say that he's fluent, but he understands most French, and he came up with this title, and I guess he's referring to an inner war and not the ongoing war that's going on right now. Yeah, as you know, it means we are the war, correct? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was his idea, but in the end, it's really cool to have French represented as well, since we have a Frenchman in the band as well. We've had Swedish, before titles and this and that. So maybe it was time for French too. And next album will be Danish, because then Bastian also wants a piece of cake. Yeah.
So about this title, could you vergivenheten?
Yeah, vergivenheten. It's the G. The G becomes J. Vergivenheten.
Okay.
Which means abandonment.
Desolation.
Huh?
Which means desolation,
no, abandonment. How do you say that in French? Is it no, we don't say it.
Abandonné.
Okay, abandonment. Yeah. No, I mean, we wanted to continue on the path. I mean, verkligheten, the previous album, means reality. Quite a powerful word. We all have our different realities. People can relate to it, and then we found the word overevenhet, and we wanted to continue on the path because it felt good, sort of connecting with the Swedish language, and experimenting, and overevenheten. It's quite a powerful word. Abandonment. It's most of us can relate to the fear of being abandoned, mm-hmm. and sooner or later in our lives, and then also. The fear of abandoning someone or something can be just as scary, So it's a big word you can see from many different angles that most of us can relate to. So I think we succeeded in finding a word that looks beautiful and feels a lot and says a lot, So it's and plus it connects with the melancholic melodies that runs through the album.
It's like the social medias. The more you have friends on social medias, maybe the most you are abandoned, or you are abandoned by reality.
Yeah, exactly.
next step for you. I think you're going to play with Slipknot in Sweden in 3 weeks.
Correct. Yeah. I can't believe I've done some interviews today and it's like, what's the future plans? And I didn't even mention that. That's crazy because it's a big show. So that's going to be really awesome. And it's close to home. And Malmo is like from the very, very south. And that's where I'm from. So there's going to be a lot of friends there. And so it's going to be a big night for sure. And then we have a Swiss festival, Mesuf. And then we're going to Australia in November, and then I think beginning of next year is when all the excessive the touring is gonna take place, and yeah, we're gonna cover up most of Europe for sure. It's gonna be a very long tour. It's too much traffic right now. So many bands out there touring, as you know. Every venue booked every day until the end of the year. Did I say excessive touring? I mean extensive touring.
Yeah.
Just want to correct that. Yes, it might be excessive touring as well, actually. But yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, I think it's better to wait until beginning of next year, where everything is hopefully back to normal. So yeah.
And I suppose you have also new stuff for Night Flight Orchestra, which has become more than a side project. I thought it would become your main project a few months ago, but
yeah, it's 50-50 for me. I mean, I get the best of both worlds, and that's definitely something to treasure.